All right, now we're going to solve a non-homogeneous linear differential equation using the method of undetermined coefficients. So again, remember our first step is to find the complementary solution or the solution to the associated homogeneous equation, which in this case, the characteristic equation would be m squared plus 4m plus 4 equals 0. I think it's pretty easy to see that that factors as m plus 2 squared is equal to 0. So we get that repeated root of -2, which tells us that our complementary solution then must be c1 e to the -2x plus c2 ex e to the -2x. Now, this is when using our method of undetermined coefficients, this is where we have to look at the right-hand side of the equation, make an educated guess as to what the form of the particular solution must be, and then make any necessary adjustments based on the form of the solution to the associated homogeneous equation. So looking at the right-hand side of the equation, we see, if we were to distribute that out, we would see a 3e to the -2x and an x equal to e to the -2x. In particular, if we saw that x e to the -2x, we would know that we would need something of the form x e to the -2x, and since its derivatives would involve an e to the -2x, we would have to have something else with a constant times e to the -2x in it to help balance things out. So remember, our guess for our particular solution will be an a x e to the -2x plus a b e to the -2x. Notice, however, that both of these pieces appear in the complementary solution. So I'm going to need to adjust this by multiplying by an appropriate power of x, to where both of these pieces now will be outside of what's already included in the homogeneous the solution to the homogeneous equation. Again, we don't want to include anything in our solution to the homogeneous equation because we know when we plug that in, we get 0. And we don't want to get 0 on the right-hand side. We want to get that 3 plus x e to the -2x piece. Well, if I just try to multiply by an x, that's not going to do it because granted, it works for the first term where we get an x squared, but then I just get an x e to the 2x in that second term, which again I see in the homogeneous equation. So in this case, I'm going to need to take that guess and multiply it by x squared. Now is when we're going to take this guess and plug it into the left-hand side and see what we get. And again, we're going to use GeoGebra to help us out to do that. So switching over to GeoGebra, let's make our guess, our f of x, be x squared times ax e to the -2x and our b e to the -2x. So there's our guess for our particular solution. So again, we want to plug this into the left-hand side of the differential equation, which again was y double prime plus 4y prime plus 4y. So we'll take f double prime of x plus 4f prime of x plus 4f of x and see what we get. All right, so we get 2b e to the -2x and a 6ax e to the -2x. So let's flip back over to our problem. We just said we got 2b e to the -2x and a 6ax e to the -2x. And I'm just going to go back and double check and make sure that's what we got. Yes, we did. Okay. This is supposed to equal, this again, remember, this is what the result from plugging in our guess into the left-hand side. So this is going to have to equal, if I distribute that e to the -2x through, that should be 3e to the -2x plus x e to the -2x. So we get a system of equations to solve. This system is very easy to solve because we'll get 2b equals 3 because these two coefficients have to match up. And we get 6a has to equal 1 because these coefficients have to match up for those two terms. So our y sub p in this case, because we can see easily that our b has to be 3/2 and our a has to be 1/6, our y sub p will be ax cubed, 1/6 x cubed e to the -2x, and a 3/2 x squared e to the negative 2x. Just plugging those into y sub p. Now that we have our y sub p, we can write our general solution because we also have our y sub c from above. So our general solution y will be c1 e to the negative 2x plus c2 x e to the negative 2x plus a 1/6 x cubed e to the negative 2x plus a 3/2 x squared e to the negative 2x.